had a request a long time ago to do a video on like brushes for beginners, brushes that I think you need, sort of my makeup brush recommendations, and I had this request a long time ago and I'm finally doing it. It took me so long though because it was hard to kind of figure out what brushes I think I need and what brushes you might need. So this is still really geared towards me and how I do my makeup. So you could obviously, if I do one thing and you don't do that, you can kind of sub and, you know, add things in and take things out as you see fit. But these are my top like 5 brushes that I think you need. I will say that most slash a lot of these brushes in this list here are e.l.f. brushes, but that is mainly just because e.l.f. is the brand that I'm the most familiar with. Like, they're pretty inexpensive, they're really accessible to me both in store and online. e.l.f. does ship internationally now though, they added that a couple of months ago, so if you've been looking to buy from e.l.f. you can do that now no matter where you are. But you don't really necessarily need these brushes specifically. This is just what I have, so rather than talking about the brand, I'm going to focus more on the brush style so that you can go out wherever you are and find brushes that are similar. You can really tell how pale I am in this lighting, eh? So first and foremost, I think anybody needs one of these double-ended eyebrow brushes, one that have the spoolie on one end and the little angled brush on the other end. Most brands make this now. This particular one is from Crown Brush. I just think that eyebrows, like, even now that they're kind of like really popular, it's a big thing, I've always thought that eyebrows are so important to your face. If you have bad eyebrows, like they don't frame your eyes nicely, it throws the whole look off. So I definitely think that you need something that you can brush through your brows with, like the spoolie end, and then no matter what kind of product you want to use to fill in your eyebrows, whether it's just an eyeshadow or it's like one of those waxes or it's a pomade, like whatever you want to use, you can use with this little angle brush end. And I just think that this is probably the most economical, easiest way to fill in your eyebrows, to do anything with your eyebrows even, is with one of these double-ended eyebrow brushes. Next up, we'll move on to face. Now, my favorite way to apply foundation always is with a big old kabuki brush. This is the e.l.f. Blending brush, I believe. They've recently, like, changed the packaging, and they don't say what the brush is on the outside anymore, which is stupid, but whatever. The reason I like the e.l.f. kabuki brushes, I have like 3 of them at this point, is because they're obviously inexpensive, but they're very, very dense. Like, there's a lot of bristles here. I hate when I buy a cheaper kabuki brush and it just like really flops everywhere and it doesn't have enough. So what I do with my foundation is I'll pour some on my hand, I dip it in, and then I kind of stipple it on my face and then rub it out. And these e.l.f. brushes are really great for that, but I've seen a lot of other drugstore brands do this sort of thick kabuki brush and they look nice. The Real Techniques Expert Face Brush is what I think it's called. It's almost exactly the same. Looks the same even, except for, you know, the handle is orange. So this is definitely my favorite way to apply foundation, and I probably couldn't do my makeup without one. Next up is easily the most versatile brush in this whole video, and that is you need something that's fluffy and tapered. So this one specifically is the e.l.f. Small Tapered Brush, but I have different versions of this by like Luxie, and then I have like Claire's brands ones, and I have like cheap whatever brand ones that I bought from Walmart. This brush is like the most multitasking brush you'll have in your whole makeup collection because you can set your under eyes with this, and then you can probably even apply a little bit of blush with this. It's a little small for blush, but I mean, you can definitely make it work. It's really great for contouring. It's really great for highlighting. You can wipe this brush off and do probably almost your whole face of makeup with just one of these tapered at the top fluffy brushes. And I really feel like this is one of those styles of brushes that is just really like underrated. Everybody's all about these fancy eye brushes and these big fancy face brushes, but one of these brushes will change your whole makeup game. And if you're one of those people who needs to do your makeup quick and fast and you don't want to have to change brushes a lot, you need one of these tapered brushes. For eye makeup, it's a little bit trickier depending on what you want to do. If you want to do lots of different colors in the crease or lots of different colors on the lid. But I think if you're going for a really, really simple kind of eye look, you're best with one of these sort of flat, fluffy brushes. Because when you get a flat, fluffy brush, you can really pack on shadow with it flat and then use the fluffy end of it to blend things into the crease. And it can kind of multitask for you in that way. So this one in particular is by Crown. It doesn't have a name on the outside, which is very, very frustrating. But e.l.f. makes a couple of different versions of this, like their eyeshadow C-brush, and they have other ones that are flat. Lots of brands do this sort of flat, fluffy brush, but I just think that it makes it easier the flatter it is. So when you look at it dead on, it's wide, but when you turn it, the sort of flatter it is, I find that often makes it easiest to pack eyeshadow onto your lid, which is what I love to do. And then this one in particular has a really, really fluffy top, and that makes it really, really easy to fluff things into the crease. I use this brush every day, multiple times when I'm doing my eye makeup, and I love it. And then the last of the top 5 here is very similar to the eye brush that I just showed you, but kind of the bigger version of it, the Papa Bear version of that eye brush. This one in particular is the e.l.f. Complexion Brush. And basically what it is it is a, like, flatter brush this way. Like, it's got a pinched ferrule. This part here is called the ferrule. But it comes up from that ferrule and is very fluffy. So just with the shape of it alone, mine's a little bit dirty because I used it. This brush alone, like, it's really great for contour if you like a bigger brush rather than one of those small ones. It's really great for bronzer. You could probably do your blush with it. And it's also really good to kind of dust powder all over your face if you want to set your face powder like that. So this one is definitely another one of those multi-purpose brushes, and I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, Emily Noel specifically, talk about how much she loves the e.l.f. Complexion Brush, and I have to agree, it's one of my faves. So these right here are my top 5 brushes that I think you need in your makeup collection. Like, that's it. Obviously there's so many other brushes that are so much fun and so great though. So I do have 2 honorable mentions that I personally probably wouldn't ever do my makeup without. So the first one is one of these little tiny fluffy crease brushes. This one is actually called the e.l.f. Crease Brush. I don't love the e.l.f. Crease Brush as much as some of my other little brushes like this though, because it's not very dense. Like, there's not a whole lot of hairs here, but it still works. I still use it. I like it a lot. This one is great for blending out the top of my crease and then going in with a darker color and just kind of concentrating it on the outside edge of my crease to really create that depth and that cat eye shape that you know I love. I definitely use this brush every day, but I don't think it's necessary because unless you're doing like really extra eye looks like I do all the time, you don't need that many brushes for your eyes. And then I always find that my foundation likes to move around on me, like it likes to, it'll be there and then all of a sudden it likes to just disappear. So when I set my face with powder, I can't just lightly dust powder the way a lot of other people do. I have to like really push a powder into my face. And that's why I need a flat-topped kabuki brush is what some people call it. But this one is actually called the e.l.f. powder brush. This is what this one is for. And I will dip this into my powder, whether it's loose or pressed, and then pack this powder, push it into my skin to make sure my foundation sets. And then yes, you will look a little bit powdery after that, but that's what a good setting spray is for, to get rid of that powdery face look. You can even use this to blend it out after. I used to use this brush to apply my foundation because it's also really good for that, and it's definitely good for blending out whatever blush or highlighter or contour, whatever you need to blend out if it's looking a little bit unblended. Not necessary, but I love having it. Those are my top brush recommendations for beginners. What would you recommend to a beginner, and maybe just what are some of your favorite brushes, because I'd love to hear it, because you know I love brushes and I have a stupid amount of them considering I have one face. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and you subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I will see you next time. Bye!